10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so yeah, we are. This purpose of this discussion is for us to revisit our debut album, Tuckshop. It's now the 10-year anniversary of Tuckshop. We're all going to listen to the album, which I doubt you guys have done, probably in like what, 9.5 years.
I was saying earlier, I listened to it, but only because I was interested in what the vinyl sounds like.
No way. Actually, I had to listen to some of it when I was helping Nico learn bass lines.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And how's
it sound?
How's the album, dude?
Look, I'm sure he felt like that was a massive waste of his life.
Oh, there's some good songs on there.
I can't remember.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about these songs and how much they mean to us.
They mean a lot.
Oh no, some really great stuff on here. Yeah, so you guys how should we do it? Do you want to dive in, or do you want to talk a little bit, I want to set up a little bit about like how we recorded the thing?
No, let's just listen to a song and talk.
Okay, cool. So, well, does anyone remember what the opening track was?
It's obviously the grand opener.
Must be Peter.
Pictures.
Well,
Is it Peter?
Yeah, it's
What's the number one song?
Track 1 is Peter.
Okay,
Yes,
that's how we rolled it.
Yo,
Days.
I love it. Like, what's our favorite song? Peter. Let's make that track 1, guys.
I guess it was like in the time where when people listened to CDs, they would put it in their CD player, and our whole goal was that people would love us instantaneously.
But you don't want to be skipping. You don't want to be skipping tracks.
No,
just
you
wanna
can't go
get
like in that time. I do remember like bands would put their hit at like 7. There was like a scientific.
You have to earn it.
Yeah. And we were like, no,
We're gonna lose people if we put other stuff first.
people are gonna be out of here by track 3. Anyway,
People
so play.
accidentally hear any of the other shit on this CD, they are not gonna.
The irony is though, and
Really?
you'll hear this now, that Peter is probably the worst recording on this album, in my opinion.
There's some solid content.
Quality intro there.
Great drum sound, dude.
That's ragtone, really.
Wow.
Yes, that's making me jaw already.
I mean, you can't generate guitar tone like that these days.
It's just pure angst.
Okay, pause it there.
Listen, this is
How do
actually
you-
better than I thought it
No,
was.
it does sound actually quite pleasant.
Yeah.
That song, it takes me right back to even when we did that music video with that
Kid
was a
of
good
Doom.
one as well.
Kid
Had
of
a lot
Doom.
of fun
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah.
I mean, we did play that song like 4 bazillion times that day.
Yeah, they didn't
Also-
want to record the video to click. And I kept saying, how are you going to do this? And they're like, don't worry, we'll make it work. I'm like, it's literally going to be impossible unless you use slow-mo
Yeah.
Dude, the
after
other-
the fact.
The other great thing about this video is, Doug, you just had your wisdom.
No, I had mumps.
Oh, yeah.
So my face was like swollen on one side, so I had to wear a scarf to cover up my mumpy ass face.
But let's be honest, that was kind of the curve towards the down for you, eh, Doug?
The curve towards the thick.
You never really had mumps, did you?
The
No,
thicky
what-
curve.
Through the years, I just gradually got mumps all over my body.
The mumps just spread. The mumps have really evened out nicely.
Yeah.
Dude.
No, I lost the mumps again.
But a small crazed dad in desperate need of a son who only had 12 daughters
Here it comes, boys. The chorus.
was the last one. Peter, I just can't love you the way that you need me to. Peter, I can't love you the way that you need me to.
Yeah, pause it there.
Yeah, man. The post-chorus rock is definitely it's synonymous with Desmond and the Tutus music. The post-chorus rock.
You gotta just enjoy
You
it.
enjoy
man.
the riff of the chorus without the singing.
I know. In fact, you know what? We could have had a lot more success if there was, I'm being honest, less singing in our
Less singing.
music, guys.
I mean,
Let's
if you
chat
talk about
that,
a
Shane. Like, tell
post-chorus,
us about Peter and the song.
Do you guys remember that Peter was originally a 80s hair metal song with like a big solo and but then we couldn't do it because none of us could actually play music well enough.
Dude, I remember like writing this song. Okay, I had this idea to make this song about a girl called Peter.
Yeah.
And then this we wrote kind of after we had written a bunch of other stuff.
Versions,
so,
yeah.
Do you remember kind of like, I won't say we were stressed about it, but like we wanted it to be good.
We really thought like, well, we need a hit and we got to write, and this is the potential. It's like quirky and we put a lot of energy. This is the song that we put the most energy into.
Like a lot of the other early stuff, it had that vibe of like, oh, let's write a song and whatever it is, that's what it'll be. But this one, like, we really wanted it to be cool. You know?
Or it's specific. We had like a goal. We had an ideal for the sound of a song. Whether or not we achieved that.
yeah, I mean, I remember from
I
the
think
the
it
song,
definitely came together nicely.
it's like I was listening to Block Party like at the time when it was all those sort of bands like Block Party and Hot Hot Heat and that, and obviously Banquet was like my favorite song, and I was like, hear that drum intro from Banquet, and I was like, I want to make an intro that gives me this exact feeling,
Yeah.
and then I basically was like, I need more toms in that. I need that Banquet intro, but with way more toms.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, I'm going to make an intro that's better than Banquet. Like, I figured out what's wrong with the Banquet intro.
We need more toms in that intro, and then
Okay, you guys want to listen to the rest of this tune?
Let's keep
Yeah, there's
that guitar lick. I'm sorry, but that was the biggest mistake of this album.
Although she wasn't shy, no how. Introducing herself at the top of her lungs. She wasn't shy, not now. And public phone calls get more awkward each and every day. And when I meet her dad, I'll cry and I'll
Mystery Jets, this sound.
for a girl.
No,
I just can't love you the way that you need me to, Peter. I can't love you the way that you need me to.
So you don't like that bing, bing, doo, doo, doo.
I've always, even while we were doing it, I hated it.
Why, dude?
Why? I don't know why. I just thought that it sounded dumb. I don't know.
No matter with Mary or a popular classic.
I shouldn't have done it, guys.
Shouldn't have.
I thought,
That's
I
not
thought,
bad.
I thought it was gonna sound really cool as a synth line,
Oh, yeah.
and then we were like, no, we gotta do it
Just go.
on guitar because then you can do it live.
I think it's also because you were picturing yourself playing that line live and how much of an idiot you were. Wide stance,
Yeah.
nice big wide stance, one hand in the air.
Bootleg jeans. What's nice about this song, though, is over the years of playing it, Nick changed the bass line to be way more harmonic, to sound like, to fill those like gaps that you miss in this part, the way that Nick played it live. And in fact, I would say that like live it was way better because of that.
So the question is, when that song is finished, do you want to hear it again?
Peter.
Like, as a listener now, you hearing the song for the first time in 9 years, do you want to listen to it
Well,
again?
dude, like, Peter is that song that, like, people really just, like, they just loved it. Like, I remember, like, talking to kids, like, one girl, like, named her first car Peter. and like that's been people's first dance at their wedding and
Do you
stuff.
remember?
that's
Do you
cool.
remember when we met a girl named Peter? Although she spelled her name Pita.
As
And she-
like a bread.
Yeah, like as
Like
in
a
Peter
pizza.
bread, like Peter.
You met bread. It wasn't actually a human being. No.
Any final words on Peter?
Yeah, I wanted to say in the breakdown section that was probably my favorites. Just chilling, like it was always cool because you could just look out at the audience when you were hitting out the breakdown section, or looking back at Craig who's probably digging in his nose or something while playing that backbeat with one hand.
I always wanted to do that. I'll be like, oh, it's look like such a doos if I mess it up and I've
Yeah.
got one hand in the air.
You got to rehearse that type of stuff.
Yeah.
People rehearse playing with one hand.
It's like those YouTube clips where the guitarist tries to spin his guitar around his head and it flies off the stage or
Smacks them.
something.
Shit, man.
Those are quality. I'm sad we didn't ever. I mean, I fell through the stage once and fell off stage once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you did the
fell
most
over on
falling.
stage
You
once.
did the most falling. I mean, I think like performance-wise, like we all gave our best, but Nick gave that extra 10%. Let's face
Yeah.
it. You don't sweat like that if you're not giving 110%.
Yeah, he made a
Exactly.
stage structurally unsound after our performances.
Classic.
Okay, well, let's move on. The next song is, well,
Good and
it's
guilty.
Good and Guilty.
The
Oh.
good and guilty.
Yes.
This one in particular, just like to, on behalf of Desmond and the Tutus, apologize if you bought this on vinyl on the 7-inch single, which I have in my house. I listened to it.
Did you pay money for that, Doug?
No, you gave it to me when you didn't want it anymore when you left South Africa.
What I like about all these recordings or whatever is maybe in 10 or 15 years from now, someone's going to look back and go like, I want hi-hats to sound like this. Where it's
That's
basically
not gonna happen.
The hi-hats are the loudest thing in the entire mix. People are like, these guys were doing
They had it
this.
figured out.
They knew what was up.
Pioneering. They knew that
Yeah.
the dance was in the hats.
Yeah.
What hi-hats were those, Craig? Are you at liberty to say now that you're a
I
sponsor?
think I actually have no idea. I think the one was an upside down, was a Zildjian crash on the bottom.
Okay, say no more. I don't want to hear anymore.
But do you guys like really listen to those songs on a technical level? I find that very difficult. Like
No, you can't.
I can't judge our shit. I just like listen to it and I'm like, yes. I just appreciate, because I mean, like none of us had been in a proper studio before,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
other than being lied to by some other record label. Going like, nah,
Kriyesh.
we're gonna make you guys
What was his
famous.
name?
Krishan.
Krishan. What a guy.
guys.
You guys, all right, let me tell you. You have got what it takes. All you need to give me is 10,000 rand.
But the crazy thing about these, like listening to them now, they sound so like lo-fi. But I remember like when we put this out, having conversations with like fans, and they were like, I can't believe you guys have to go record this stuff so polished.
Yeah, yes.
Compared to the, I guess, like the demos that we had just put out there.
That's it.
Shit.
But yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it's like hard to
there was-
analyze it. It's more just like takes you back to a time where like it was just, life was simpler, you know?
It was all about the feeling.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss. That's what I
mean,
reckon.
for what this album lacks in technical, like craftsmanship, it really did capture a live feel, and I think that we don't give it enough credit for that. It does have a good live feel, like, and I mean, we tried. We tried to be technical. We didn't crack it.
Listen, guys, we tried our best, eh? We just
Well, one
Gave
thing's
it a
for
good
sure,
old
if
shot
you
there.
listen to this album, then came to our show, you were blown away when you're at the show.
Yeah, we definitely held that surprise, we're actually really good.
Shane, before you start Good and Guilty, I think Good and Guilty is the song that set people's reference point for your voice. You know, when people imitate your voice,
Yeah.
they imitate your voice in Good and Guilty.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like the most over the top
Yes.
thing.
It's the most exaggerated you get, you know.
Like, how's that? We went into that radio interview one day, and the lady opens her interview with, "So Shane, you don't really sing. You just kind of talk like this."
Oh my gosh.
That was like the introduction.
Was I there?
No, it was just Craig and I were both like, "What?"
Yeah, we're like,
just
shut
Okay.
up. Are you being serious?
Yeah.
You walk into this.
Even Craig was like taken aback.
Damn.
Okay, well let's hear what that is, Craig. Sliding in there, Nick.
Imagine.
There's a wah pedal on this song.
The
No,
demo.
I used to. And then we decided as a band that we don't need to use the wah pedal anymore.
It's not the 70s anymore,
Yeah.
Doug.
Who do you think you are, Jimmy?
As fate would have it,
I always love playing the song live though.
something.
Yeah, so
The
It
reason.
sounds that bass line, Nick.
Well, we like. I mean, now, like, if you post-rationalize it, like, you've got like the bass line, and you bring the bass line to the fore, and there's no like other musical elements over that apart from singing and bass. But it's because I was too lazy to write guitar for that part of it. Because this is so good as well.
yeah, this is good. Man.
I mean, that siren also could have maybe.
Like, I forgot about the siren.
The
dude.
siren could have maybe.
It's like hardly even there though. But it's there.
It's annoying.
I forgot how that did.
Like, I honestly feel like if we try to play this now, we wouldn't be able to.
We should though, bro.
I mean,
Slaps, man.
that drop, Nick.
Oh, here's the siren's back.
Guess who's back?
Like-
The siren.
But I mean, like in the recording of this, it was always like, okay, we need another, like a second guitar line, and then Doug would just go in the booth and lay down like
What? Literally.
whatever you thought of first, and then just send it straight to CDP.
That was it.
You like walk out of there, kind of just going like shrugging your shoulders, like, okay, well that's what it's gonna be. you
That's
know?
what music sounds like.
We were like, ah, it sounds insane.
Oh man. I mean, like, Shane, you sent this album to a bunch of people, like, as like a way of like maybe trying to get us signed in other countries
Yeah.
and stuff. How do you feel about that? Now let's explore that a bit.
No, dude, like we got like overwhelmingly no comment responses from people.
So around the time where we finished this album, Shane was like, "Oh, there's someone in Australia that wants to send the album to like label guys that they know, or whatever, and they needed it ASAP. So I sent them 10 albums, cost 10 albums overnight, cost $2,000.
Yes, like, where did you
And-
scrape that money from?
Oh, we scraped that money, and no one said nothing. Okay? No one even replied. No one was like, "Thanks for the album."
Yo,
$2,000.
dude.
Dog. That was like 3
Yeah, but-
shows.
Yeah, it's always like such a thing. Like, yeah, send me albums. What is he gonna do? Like, drive around dropping off albums? Like, who's he gonna give these albums to in Australia?
RuPaul.
Dude. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, this chorus really takes me back to like the sweaty little club gigs, like grinding it out.
Yeah, that flamenco coming through there. Come on, Oak.
And
Nice, guys.
So let's chat about those early gigs, guys. So let's start at the beginning, shall we?
bluesy.
Oh, good
Yo.
grief. You know,
Blues
when,
room,
when
eh?
we played those places and people afterwards were like, yes, you guys are so cool. I'd be like, yeah, duh. Obviously, we're really cool, fool.
But it's just like, what was so hectic about us trying to get a gig back then was, like, we had no idea where bands were doing gigs. Like, this is how actually uncool we were. Is that, like, between the four of us, we couldn't actually figure out, like, where do gigs even happen, you guys?
Where do you guys go and do gigs?
And that's why our first gig was at an open mic night at the Blues Room.
Which
It's like the most uncool.
It's like the
place.
least cool place.
we
it
actually
was-
played that a lot of times.
Yes.
We must have played it like 3 times
Yeah.
in that first year, yeah.
I remember going back to what I was doing during the week. I don't want to say what it was. And then going and just walking around looking at all the sheep, the absolute effing sheep that were walking around there, thinking to myself, you guys don't know what it's like, man. To be in a band, you don't know.
After one gig at the Blues
Yeah.
Room.
You know what it's like to stand up on a stage, put everything you got out there,
You don't know.
vulnerable.
To
for
be
everybody
fair,
to
though,
see.
like when you watch, because I think there's a video on YouTube of like one of those early shows,
Oh, yeah.
and like we are hardly even moving.
We're hardly moving. We're like standing there, like my legs are shaking.
And
Like
then afterwards we're like, oh, we just gotta go there and get crazy,
Yeah.
you guys.
Oh, shit.
The other crazy thing is, like, when I was trying to organize that gig, I was like, oh, they do this. I'd heard somewhere, oh, they do an open mic night at the Blues Room. So I emailed them or whatever. The guy's like, yeah, sure, you guys can play. It's going to be $2,000.
You.
So I'm like, oh, so you telling me, like, every time you see a band playing a gig, they actually paid money to play that gig? Huh? I had no idea that that's how gigs work.
And I remember this conversation because we were like, dude, that makes so much sense. Like, we totally bought into it. We were like, yeah, that is how gigs work.
They're providing us with a service.
Yeah.
It was probably Nick that was like, nah,
No, it
guys,
was Nick. It was
We're
Nick.
not paying to play a gig.
Then you replied. You emailed them because you were the only one with an email address. And you were like,
Could afford
okay,
data.
we're not paying you $2,000. And the guy was like, okay, cool, you can still play.
They're like, got him.
Shit.
But actually, the next song is also a good one for those early gigs.
What is it?
You actually wrote this song, Doug. Do you want to talk
Oh,
about
girls.
About your little...
I wrote it in my room, probably after having. Can I say this? Can I say this on a?
it? Just be PC.
Be discreet.
Yeah, be discreet.
Look, I was a teenager. I wasn't a teenager. No,
No,
I was at the end of being a teenager, but what I was single. And I lived at I lived at my parents' house.
don't taint the song for everybody now, dude. So was
So
this?
just-
Nobody wants to
it's
picture
just
you
post.
jerking off while you write this song.
No, not wild, please.
Yeah, Doug emerges from like an all-night masturbatory
cool.
marathon.
You show me one
Masturbate.
19-year-old that can masturbate all night. Yeah, man. Anyway, so I did. It wasn't all night, and it was in the morning. If you must know that I wrote this, there was sunshine outside.
Nice, dude. It was like a morning after, like
It
kind
was-
of reflecting
yeah,
after like a long hard night.
Yeah.
Doug, I just want to say, back then, it's not like you had Wi-Fi at home, bro.
No,
You were hitting the GPRS
Yeah, but
WAP
when you-
enabled.
when you really break it down, I must have like pre-downloaded it or something. I don't know.
No, dude. You probably just had a good old fashioned magazine.
No, you know what? I probably just had a good old fashioned stiffy. Like when you
Excuse me?
If you drive.
Okay, well,
anyways,
on
listen
that
to this
note-
nice song that I wrote about some girl.
Always love this intro.
I
Very
mean, we
dramatic.
actually I only wrote the first verse. We wrote the second verse together
Yeah.
when we wrote the song. Still a
Just
great
got to
song.
tinkle. Sometimes just got to tinkle on those cymbals
Yeah.
to add effect, you know?
That's sorry, just pause this before the song comes in. That tinkle is left over from your days of playing the drums at the church. I guarantee it.
Exactly, yeah.
When the youth pastor's got to make that.
The church
Yeah.
tinkle.
The church
Yeah.
tinkle.
And then like in the middle of a prayer, they like look at you weirdly, like
Yeah, you're like,
make you too many.
I thought I was helping.
Too many tinkles, damn it!
It's too tinkly.
Yeah,
There's sweet emotions running
Yeah.
through my hands.
yeah, less tinkly, damn it. Yeah, no, that is true. There's some remnants of playing drums in a church there.
I mean, the other thing about this intro was like, I mean, back in the day, like we always need, like each song needed like a gimmick. I don't know if you remember this. And the gimmick for this one was, like I would do an interpretive dance. during
Yes.
this.
No, I do remember that. In fact, we used to start our show with this song,
Oh yes, yeah, yeah.
and then you would like drape
Weird.
like a cloth over you or something, and you would
So
do like that.
dramatic, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
Anyway.
you did your thing. Okay, song in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, girls, they just wanna dance. They don't
I like that airy quality to your voice.
Great lyrics too, dude.
And oh, girls, how they move and prong side to side, but you'll never be together. And oh, how I wish I was 6 years older. She was not in school when I was born. Oh, girls,
Classic Desmond chorus.
they just wanna dance.
I like this like trashy rock and roll vibe, dude.
Oh, girls, they just wanna dance.
Yeah, it's like a 5-chord chord progression, but you can only hear 2 of them.
Like, I mean, Nick, had you started playing an actual bass guitar at this point, or are you still just playing these bass lines on?
Yeah,
the
hit a pause there. So basically, for the listeners who aren't savvy to all the intricacies of Desmond and the Tutus, when we started the band, when I joined the guys, they didn't have a bass player, so I was like, I'll play bass, but I don't have a bass guitar, so I'm just gonna have to play the bass on my normal 6-string electric. Trying to fool the laws of physics, but
Hey, you
It
got a lot
worked
of
for-
low
for a
end out
little
of that
while.
G8 pedal that you used to have. What was it called? A Roland G8.
yeah, but I don't think I had a drop tune on that or anything.
No,
We
you
just
did.
played
You-
it.
no,
we
you-
were just like whatever.
You did. You
But
had
then-
that pedal, and then because that pedal used to bug out on stage from time to time, and then it would just be dinky dong, ding dong, dinky dong. Do you not remember this?
No, I don't remember.
And after
that.
like a couple of gigs, we were like, "This can't keep happening. You got to buy a bass guitar." And then we were bummed that you
No,
had to.
somebody told us. Do you remember who?
No, let me
Ew.
guess. Oh, the Hugh Lobham.
Oh,
you- Hugh Lobham. If
He
you're
was like, I
listening
think
to
you
this.
guys should. Someone should play the bass guitar. We're like, nah, we like what we got going on.
Don't tell us what to do. You're the man.
yeah, why were we so anti-bass?
I don't know. Like, even when you
Doesn't even
started
make
playing
any
an actual
sense.
bass guitar, I was like, that's it. We've lost it. We've
lost
that.
the charm.
Yeah.
Now we've sold out.
So might as well get a saxophonist in the band now.
Might as well just be a jazz progressive band.
But she's drunk and thinks you're her baby brother. And old girl get you down to size, take you weeks, even months to recover. There's nothing I can say that would change her mind. There's nothing I can do, she will never be mine. Oh girls,
BB's so good. Dude, this is a really great vibe for us to make more songs like this. Now,
Genius. Listen, I've got plenty more angst where this came from.
It's called Old Boys.
Old boys, they just want to play their songs.
always with the breakdown.
Your boys Desmond got your back with the breakdowns. We got breakdowns. Some people call them middle eights. We call them the best part of the song.
Yeah,
Listen
you'll
to that.
never get a little. You'll never not go back into the chorus.
Like, I honestly don't think that any of these songs would have the appeal that they have if at this point, or at any point in the history of the band, you had like a classical singing voice. Like, imagine how bullshit it would sound.
Yeah, imagine like singing this song and I could really sing nicely.
Yeah, totally.
It wouldn't be cool.
It would suck more. Well done.
I think my favorite part about the breakdowns was like you'd like after like it would usually come after a double chorus, so there's been like some epic jawling going on, and then
The song always should have ended, and then we give them a breakdown in another chorus.
It takes your set from 1 hour to 1 hour 30.
Sorry, what did you say, Nick? What did you say?
So I always felt that way when it came to guitar solos. I was like, oh, should have ended the song before that started.
Except,
Yeah, you did. I mean,
I don't want to bring up
any guitar solos on this.
There's not.
dude?
I don't think there is one guitar solo on this album.
Not even. Oh, yeah, I don't think there is. Dude.
Yeah, you hadn't dabbled yet. I
No.
don't think.
The thing
You had
was,
decided like, no, I'm not doing guitar
no.
solos.
The thing was, right? We had guitar solos on some previous songs, and they weren't very good. And so
I think it's all remnants of your joyful noise.
No, you
days,
know what
though,
it
when
was?
They wouldn't let you
We-
solo.
we thought
Solos
like,
from Satan.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, I'm the guitarist, so I guess it falls down to me, but we all had a vibe of not liking guitar solos. I certainly thought that we all thought this, that guitar solos are fucking stupid.
I kind of,
Yeah.
honestly, I still kind of do feel that way.
Like,
dude.
even now when we go into studio, it's like, yeah, then we can do a guitar solo. I'm like,
I don't know.
Okay,
Like, I
but-
think the only person who got a solo on this whole album was Shane.
Yeah,
vocal
worked
solo.
him out,
He
dude.
got like 2 harmonica
Kazoo.
solos.
shit, dude. Oh, what about Saggy? Is Saggy
Oh,
Bottom Sweetest
3.
not on this?
What?
Yeah, dude.
Is it on this? Oh.
It's coming up
So
shortly.
you got
Bum, bum,
a.
bum.
But
Okay,
your
let's hear
guitar solos are flipping dumb, dude.
Yeah,
Same
we
for
don't need
drum
them.
solos. Like, who
No.
who do you think you are?
Yeah, this is
I'm
not,
so good. I need my own little section to
You
show
need to
you.
hear
And
this.
actually-
You need to hear this instrument with me playing it on its own,
by myself.
with nothing else distracting.
Yeah, you guys aren't appreciating what I'm doing. Everybody else, stop. Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
It's my turn to shine.
This can satisfy you the way an entire band would satisfy.
Yeah. Okay, well, our next song
Yes.
comes
hit us.
in at only 3 minutes 58 seconds. I thought it ended up being longer than this.
No, we cut two entire verses in order to make it from 7 minutes down to 3.5.
Yeah, the demo was like straight up
It
6.5 minutes.
It was
so-
7.5 minutes.
Oh man, it's damn good though.
You
dude.
listen, all the best songs are long. Ooh, that fade in. I need a volume pedal so I can do this live. Genius.
There it is.
There it is. Our number one song of all time. I think of all the songs that missed Nicholas's 6-string bass guitar, this was one of them. Because the contrast between the high strings and the low strings was quite evident, and you don't get that in this. But can you just pause this while I refresh all of your memory of how Kiss You on the Cheek used to be? I wanna kiss you on the cheek. ass cheek. I wanna kiss you on the
I don't
cheek.
think it ever was that.
Ass cheek. Dude, we recorded that and you lost it.
Thank goodness.
We-
Thanks, Shani.
This song predates me going to Joyful Noise. It predates.
Snap.
It predates.
That's why
Shane-
Doug actually.
I can't
wanna
work
be a
with these
part of
guys.
When we were writing this song, Nick wasn't involved with our vibe, and we were still like the three of us
Oh,
were
yeah,
hanging
yeah,
around
yeah. It
at
was
the
like that-
church.
We used to just hang out, make up a dumb song.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Nick came in and you were like, no, listen, my sister's boyfriend, he can play, he can play the guitar, then I'll just play the bass. This was your whole
Yeah, that
pitch.
was my idea.
And then Nick came in like literally on the second day of us trying to sit down and make songs, and Nick's sitting there while we're playing. Nick was basically like auditioning the whole band. And
Okay.
usually how it is like the band auditions the guy. We're now busy playing to like impress this potential new member of our band. It's like all backwards. And well, we
Nick-
impressed you, hey Nick?
You were impressed by what?
Yeah, big time.
What were you impressed by?
Listen, I mean, I came out of music school and all the dudes were doing that sort of 2000s rock, kind of super emotional,
Like Seether.
big time Seether, big time. Like, I mean, the big bands of that
More
they
like-
were like 16 Stitch.
Okay.
Not
Did
My
you study
Dog.
at the same place as the people from 16 Stitch?
No,
Oh.
no, but they were like affiliates. I know that.
Okay. There was
I
some
think the lead
crossover.
singer from Cutting Jade studied there
Oh,
a couple of years
okay.
before
Say no
I
more.
did.
You were impressed. Continue.
But then, yeah,
I cannot feel my feet. I wanna kiss you on the cheek every day of the week. I wanna kiss you, baby, on the cheek.
I mean, like, there's this song, and then there's High Fives, but these are kind of the only two songs, really, that have got this, like, African influence. That we
Yeah.
really, like, we really went out and, like, made
that
this
level.
our big statement,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I think like some journalists probably picked up on it, and we were like, yes,
Yeah.
we really love Kwela music, and all of our guitar licks are influenced by such.
When I played this like African, more like African style drums, I was like, I would listen to a bunch of like, whatever, like Fresh House Flavor or something like that. And I was like, basically, Kiss You on the Cheek is basically one of those songs that could be on Fresh House Flavor.
Definitely.
And every time we played it live, I was like, this is a house song.
Yeah.
Straight up, just a full-on house song. And then you hear a recording, you're like, dude.
This is like a rock song.
Yeah.
Also, it's like 20 beats faster than any
Yeah.
house track, dude.
I mean, I'm just gonna say something, and this might be super controversial, so we can edit this out. But
You regret the last 13 years of your life.
no. I mean, that goes without saying. Okay, I want to say this. Just pause this because actually, I want people to hear this. If it makes it, I think Shane is head and shoulders a better harmonica player than Jeremy Dukes.
Miles.
And that's
Shane's
not
all about
like a
feeling.
slight
Shane's harmonica playing is all about feeling.
Self-taught, baby.
self-taught.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It's not about. I don't want to throw any shade on Jeremy, but like, somebody beat you to it, and he's better at it than you. So I'm sorry.
Dude, but after we made this song, I remember listening to the radio and hearing like a Freshly Ground song that also had a harmonica in it. And I was like, oh man, is everyone just going to do harmonica songs?
Harmonica's my
my
thing.
I want to kiss you
Again, the breakdown.
Now we come with a good breakdown. Classic.
on the cheek. I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you, baby. I want
I think like I specifically remember in breakdowns and that I'd be like, yeah, let's break down, but like I'm still gonna keep the kick going because if I don't, we're gonna lose everyone
Yeah.
from this song, guys.
People aren't gonna like us anymore if Craig stops hitting the kick.
Yeah.
In fact, one of our comments about breakdowns, while we were recording this very song, was talking about the band Us Kids Know and how all their breakdowns went into halftime and they didn't have the kick following up the breakdown. And we were like, they lose the energy, guys. We can't lose the energy, man.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're playing a completely different genre of music.
Just pause it there for a second. I remember, because after that breakdown is where the epic... that's the first time I played the low notes on the bass guitar.
Yes.
And I remember sometimes when we played gigs, I'd like tell the sound guy, like, listen out for this song. It's like super high register stuff on the bass guitar, but then I just want you to crank the low end. And when that section hits, the place must go crazy, you know. And I think
Wait,
we
Nick, did you really do that?
Like a bunch of...
Did you really tell the sound guy to do that?
On a few occasions, like if I thought the guy would be competent enough to understand what I was saying.
That's why sound guys always vibe us nowadays. When you like go to gigs, they're like, nobody talks to us anymore. Nick's not there to give us special instructions.
But yeah, that was always my favorite part. Is that big
Here it
drop.
comes.
You're gonna be very surprised.
Oh, that was the end of the song.
On the recording, you never did that bass drop.
You gotta pause it there.
On the record, like that is something that you brought in like later, and that to
Live.
me is like the thing that defines it
That
live
song,
is that
yeah.
final drop. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Of course, there's the remix to Ignition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
mean-
totally.
I like these getting tweets about every now and then, like some woke person from the audience will be like, Desmond and Tutus are really cool, but I can't believe they did an R. Kelly cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
I
believe it.
also can't believe it.
I
Until
can't-
you started doing it.
I
I
can't
don't
believe
know.
he urinated on a teenager, but hey,
Yeah.
Ignition holds up.
Ignition still bangs. I don't even heard it recently.
Oh yeah, I mean the story, the kiss sheet on the cheek story is really the one of these just weird internet things that happen. But like our friend Paul, the DJ King of Town, doing a remix of it. That remix getting picked up by Tiger Sushi Records in France for like a release on vinyl to go on to be like this weird underground like DJ hit for like a one summer in Europe, and then that vinyl going to like record stores around the world, one of which is Flake Records in Japan, which led us to this relationship with Dawa, which has turned out to be like one of the most rewarding things. So yeah, I mean, you gotta just put stuff out there, guys. You don't know like where
You
stuff's
don't
gonna
know.
go.
No.
You know?
Nobody does.
Okay, who wants to introduce the next song?
Craig, tell us what the
Okay.
next song is and how it makes you feel.
So German Modern is the next song. It was sort of a song that was born out of first like having an idea like to make a song about a dance move called the German Modern, which our cousins made up. Like sort of in passing, and it became like this thing with them and their friends. Like they would go out and do the German Modern, and then we were like,
to be young again.
we were like, you know, okay,
These guys are so cool.
these guys are so cool. So let's take this idea and make an entire song about it. And yeah, I suppose then we just sort of, it was one of those things where the idea for the song came, and then we came up with we're like, okay, we got to make it like very dancey and fast.
Yeah.
Good
And
grief.
then we just came up with the German Modern. And actually,
But we also, if I remember correctly, like that was first Cape Town tour trip, and we were staying at your cousin's house. I think Doug and I were sharing the attic, and then we played one of the gigs, and then I think Shane said we need another song because we were running a bit short on time. So we just bashed this thing out on two nylon string guitars. And then we were like, yeah, no, that's a song. Let's do it.
Yeah, actually.
And I think we played it that night. at Evo, I think we.
I think that was Head to the Side.
Yeah, that was Head to the Side, but we did write German Modern in a similar way.
Okay.
And but
I know where we wrote German Modern. We wrote German Modern in Bob's practice room down underneath the SABC.
oh
Dude, like,
yes,
remember that dude Bob?
Yeah.
the guy was
Yeah.
obsessed with the Killers.
I don't know, but
No, he
anyway.
was.
Oh,
He would literally talk about the Killers nonstop. Well, to me at least, I don't know.
So like he was like a recording guy.
Yeah.
And
Where is that guy now?
I don't know.
Probably lives overseas.
But and he like said, oh, we can use his room in the SABC, and that's where we wrote.
Yeah.
We'd obviously come back from this Cape Town tour, like all inspired by our cool cousins and how cool they are.
Well, listen. I mean, what a banger! Hit play there. Let's say no more. Oh.
Pretend that Craig is a drum machine. Pretend that Nick's
There's sense in this.
pretend that Doug's playing a guitar and I've got a vocoder built in. Pretend that songs about robots.
I always thought that these were some of the coolest lyrics in a song.
In a song ever.
I always thought that. I was like, this is a flipping cool song.
Thanks, Doug. Why didn't you say that to me when I wrote it? I might have been like a totally different person if I knew you felt this way
don't
about my work.
That's German modern.
I didn't want you to get a big head. You know?
There is a synth in this, dude.
Really?
Listen,
Yeah, okay, yeah, you can hear it.
it's so epic
It's
too.
so intense.
Your blackest jeans and your blackest ties. We gonna German modern tonight. Find your pointiest shoes.
I think this is where your voice lives in this era for me.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's that bass drop.
Yo, it's sick.
Let's German modern. Not German modern. Looks like your knees. Ain't
Breakdown.
and twist your feet. Now bite your lips. And lock your
You were doing like a snare rolly thing there, Craig. Why you should whip this out?
and twist your feet. Now bite your
Isn't it crazy like that this out of all these songs is the one that has like survived into the live
Crazy.
set going on.
Crazy.
It's
This-
like not better than any of these others really, but it's one of like 3 that still gets played.
I guess like our live set has been about the crowd, and this song is all about the crowd. It gives them a chance to connect in like the most direct way. We're telling them what to do, and they're doing it.
Yeah.
German modern. We German modern. Let's German modern. Come on, German modern.
Because do you remember that we recorded basically this iteration of this album is like the 3rd time we recorded all these songs.
Yes, I do know that because I'm also part of
Okay,
it.
so we recorded them, but do you remember that?
Yes, I think about it non-stop.
But like, I mean, because we recorded it with that Spitfire Records guy,
Fire.
and then
And then we recorded it in.
and then do you know how the Spitfire thing, why that didn't happen? Because they were like, okay, no, we're going to send you the contract for your guys' record deal. And then Craig read it and wrote this email back and was just like, yeah, you need to give us like jelly beans and all this dumb stuff. And then they replied saying, okay, we formally retract our offer for a record contract. And if you want the songs, you can purchase the songs at a cost of, I don't know, like
Yeah.
1,500 rand per song.
You know, it's just flipping hilarious, dude.
And then a couple months later, we recorded with Do you remember this?
Yes.
At Rob Roy Studios with that dude Andrew.
Yeah.
And then, like, at the end of it, Andrew was like, I didn't really have time to mix this for you guys. So is it cool if I just give you the steps and then, like, you figure it out? And I was like, yeah, I guess, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And then, like, I mean, I tried to get, like, somebody to mix it, but then they didn't really pan out. And then, like, whatever, we got linked up with Adrian Levi through Lesedi.
Oh yes.
Because Lesedi was kind of like, I don't know what, just helping us, and he like lived down the road from Adrian. It was like, oh, you can record your album with this guy. But this is like before, like this was in the old days where like before the time of like people just having computers that could record a whole band.
Yeah.
You know, like it was still like a special
Yeah,
thing
you
to
still
be able
needed
to
some
record
stuff,
music.
yeah.
You know.
Also,
So-
we had no idea that there were studios out there that you could just go and rent a studio if you want to. You don't have to do it. It doesn't have to be a favor. Like your album recording doesn't have to be a favor from one of your
Yeah.
friends.
So like, also I remember like going through the first time I went to meet Adrian, and then like I was like, "Flip, well, we don't have any money to record this thing, so like the best thing we can do is like offer you like some royalty split." And obviously in my mind I thought like, yeah, I mean, I guess like as long as he doesn't want to take more than like 50%, I think I'll be fine. And then he was like, yeah. And then we sort of negotiating or whatever, and Adrian's like, yeah. So I think if for this recording I will need to take 30% of the royalty. I was like, okay, deal. But long story short, we haven't broken even on this album. So,
So good luck, Adrian.
but it was like a crazy thing of just like going to this dude's house every single day for however long it was, like 2 weeks, and
It
just
felt much longer than that.
yeah.
Yes,
I will
it
say
felt like
this though.
forever.
I will say this. Of all the studios we've recorded in, from the inception of this band till present day, Adrian Levi's studio is the only studio that was, first of all, kosher, and secondly, didn't have any fucking cats in it. I don't know if you can hear my voice is, and there's a lot of sniffing.
Oh.
And it's
Doug's
all going
face
on,
is about twice the size of its normal size.
which
Yeah,
is
his
which is to say
wife,
it
I
is
mean,
huge.
Can you imagine like what his wife thought of this whole setup? Us just arriving at their house every day.
Me had like a couple of young kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his son's all grown up now and turned out to be way cooler than all three of us. Sorry, Nick, all four of us.
Yeah, all three of you dickheads.
Anyways,
But like the what's crazy about it is that like he really bought into the band.
he did. I wonder which one of us is going to be the Adrian Levi of the future, like with a studio and like we're gonna like buy into a band for 30% of the royalty of their album.
It's been like
One of us is going to do that because Adrian was in like a pretty famous band in South Africa at
in
one
the
point.
80s.
In the 80s, yeah, he played. His band played
Elemental, wasn't
at
it?
yeah, his band played at Concert in the Park, and like that that massive like
Yeah.
concert with like a gazillion people there. Anyways, let's listen to the next song.
I don't know. The next song's also only 3.5 minutes.
Oh dear.
But for some reason, like when I think about these songs, especially like this one, Crazy Rebel, I think to myself like I imagine like this long, sprawling, like jammy song, but it's actually only 3.5 minutes.
Oh gosh.
That literally just sent me back to
Dude,
the Bohemian.
The Bohemian. Why don't we play this anymore?
I guess we'll find out in the next 3
I
minutes.
know why.
Your shoes are huge, but they're just the right size.
Okay, it's been long enough.
Colors covering your eyes.
Tell us who you wrote this song about. It's always been
Oh,
on my mind.
dude.
Every time we play this song, I've always thought, I wonder who this is. This about me? Is Shane slacking me off?
Like, I don't think it was about anybody. I think the Crazy Rebel thing came from like a conversation I was having with a friend, and we were just like making fun of people that are edgy, you know.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, these crazy rebels," or whatever. And I was like, "Okay, that's quite a cool vibe to make this thing about all these like edgy, fashionable people that do all this dumb stuff." But yeah, like a lot of these songs are not about specific people. It's more just like about a commentary on, you know,
Okay.
every
Alright.
person in the world.
All right. Cool. I hear you.
But
But it was a bit about.
but it's about you totally.
what's cool about it is when you probably have that conversation with people and they're like, "Oh, look at those crazy rebels over there." But like in the song, you use the term "crazy rebel," but you're like, it's about like this person's like taking it themselves like seriously, you know. They're like,
Sure,
"This is
yeah.
what I'm doing, and it's cool."
Yeah.
You know, you're not like mocking these people in the song almost.
Yeah.
It's more of
Although
a
you should have.
commentary. It's more of a commentary. You haven't said a disparaging
but what
thing
ab-
about them.
But what about these lyrics made you think it was about you, Doug? Your shoes are huge.
But they're just the right size. I don't know. It's just like
What shoes
I
are
just
you wearing?
thought, like-
Skate shoes back probably in these days.
no,
Yeah, of
no.
course.
From as long as you've known
Island
me,
styles.
from as
Island
long
styles?
as you have known me, both of you, I've tried to wear the same shoes as you, both of you.
No,
No, there was a period though.
Yeah,
dude.
that was
You
when
were-
when we first met, and you guys commented on my shoes, and I was like, I can't have my straight up homeboys tuning me about my shoes. So I went out and bought Chucks,
And now you fit in.
and
Finally.
my family disowned me.
I'm like, why are you wearing the wimpy shoes, Doug?
You're gonna get sores on your feet.
You do karate,
And you did karate as a
I
kid.
used to do karate,
double cheese and bacon burger. What about you?
and I have a mean appetite, as my
Uh-huh.
body can attest to.
Your denim's a baggy, but not too baggy.
Oh snap, dude! This is all about you.
Much, and you wear your cap backwards, sideways.
Maybe.
Posture, you like your hair messed up, but not too much. And you, my friend, are a crazy.
Got to keep the kick drum going.
Oh, yeah. In case we're gonna lose it if you
Yeah,
don't.
exactly.
Nah, and the cool thing to do when we used to play this live was like that chorus drop. Like really make them wait
Yeah.
for it, you know.
She hates you, but I heard they're friends again. You finished the Gran Turismo on Pro, and you don't like it.
This is a
She likes the going.
mother effing banger of a
This
song.
song slaps, dude.
Your t-shirt is 2 sizes too small.
I think this song more clicks.
Too small, and your t-shirt is 2 sizes too small. And you, my friend.
Actually,
Oh, you had the hats going for a little too long, man.
And it went out like that, eh?
Like,
Straight.
it's already at CDT, guys.
Sounds more raw like that, guy.
gives it that live feel.
Like definitely in my mind when I think about this album, I expect it to be like way rawer than it. It's actually kind of got a great vibe, dude.
Yeah, man, it's slick. And you would also do the milkshake
Oh yeah, also a good time to drop in
breakdown.
it. Yeah, it was. I used to do my humps.
You
Black
did
Eyed
my
Peas.
humps, and you did the Rapper's Delight.
Oh yeah.
Now I am.
I love that chord tone, dude.
Yes, the song Flippin' Rocks.
Who just play this, dude?
I don't remember.
I never thought we should have written any more original stuff. I thought we were like,
Yeah, we're
we
sorted.
We've done it now.
Songs, yeah, no, we've got songs.
Yeah, we've got these, what is it, 10 songs?
11.
11 songs.
This album
Listen to
comes in
that.
at 40 minutes, 40 sharp minutes.
I mean, I
Oh,
am.
with a fade out too.
Ah. Yeah, that was a
quality.
good song. Quality song, man.
Well, the next song is an inspirational one. It's a motivational one.
And contains one of 3 harmonica solos.
Yeah.
3. What is the third one?
I think he's counting all the Kishu parts as individual solos.
You had about 6 solos.
Well,
is Bappa on this album?
No.
no, dude, unfortunately not.
That would have been
didn't
the
make
thing
the
that would have
cut.
made us famous, dude. If we had put Papa on this album, straight.
Also,
to
what's
the
not on this
top.
album is Dancing with the DJ's Girlfriend. Like, why didn't we put those two on? Both great
Those were
songs, dude.
absolute bangers.
I think we're like trying to move more into this like rock
Yeah, yeah.
vibe.
Less like quirky. Although,
But except we still put on this next one, the flipping quirkiest of the quirky.
yeah,
Bappa was
Very
such a
strange.
killer song.
still is a killer
The
song,
thing is,
correct.
when we were recording it, like, didn't sound right. It was just like, it just didn't feel cool.
I love that we're just like, cool, let's just leave it off the album.
yeah, one of our most popular songs ever.
Yeah. We're just going to leave it off.
Nah, we got enough.
11's enough songs for an album.
So that might have been the one, guys.
Oh, man.
I'm
We
telling
put
you,
on the
I'm
album.
telling you, one of those people that you emailed, physically posted the CD to, would have listened to Bappa, and we would have been,
Be living in like a mansion. In
we would have been
Mm.
the next Strokes.
Mm.
Okay, look, let's not push it.
I don't know. I mean,
we'd have been like the next.
we might have got a reply. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
if he had heard, they would be like, look, I like this one song. Don't lose this lose this postal address. Which you did. You lost the postal addresses.
Guys, to be fair though, maybe they replied by the post. And
Yeah,
and then
I
you
mean,
just-
South African
you just
postal system
disregarded.
let us down.
Sappo screwed us, man.
Yeah, big time.
Maybe they still got it. We should stop.
Dude,
by
yeah.
Is there any packages for us?
Somewhere in a warehouse is just a stack of like recording contract offers.
Yeah.
Just money in envelope for us, begging us to be part of their label.
It's just like people have sent like 5 mails in a row. The last one is like, okay, fine. $5 million.
Enclosed in cash.
Oh, man.
That probably
Anyway.
is not the case.
Oh, yeah, I doubt
unfortunately.
it. I doubt it. Anyway, back to Saggy Bottom Speedo Swimmer.
Yeah,
Anybody want to talk? This was actually the first song we wrote, I think. Because I
The
wrote
very
this.
first.
I wrote the lyrics for this prior to us even deciding we're gonna be a band.
Yes, yes.
And,
What's
and
Right.
then like in my mind, I'd always pictured it like to be probably more along the lines of like what Peter ended up being, like a dancey rock song, because that was all the stuff I was listening to back
Yeah.
then. And then when we sat down and wrote it, it like ended up being this like jazzy number. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna be one of these quirky bands.
you know, the the reason you were let down in the songwriting process is I only knew a handful of chord progressions, and one of them was the chord progression to a Buena Vista Social Club song,
Mm-hmm.
which I won't tell you the name of, but
Those old people better not try and
they
come
better
get
not
some
try and
royalties,
get
dude.
some, dude. But anyways, when you know that, and then you listen to this,
Is it obvious?
clear as
I don't know
day,
about obvious.
but just much faster and played poorer, played with less technical skill.
But a
More
lot of
gusto.
pent up sexual tension.
Bass solo.
Yeah,
Oh, dude,
there, you
even you
snuck
go
it
away.
in there. Eh?
Yes, dude.
And a little drum solo there, okay?
I've got a mini
Counts, eh?
half a bar.
When he walked out of the locker room, all the boys laughed at him. He didn't care though. He was there
What you laughing at, Doug?
when he walked.
I'm just like trying to picture like
The girls all made
your mental state when you were performing this in the studio. Like you were like, I gotta give a lot of like vocal dynamics to, to this.
baggies in the sea, and his mom wouldn't buy him new ones. She
I mean,
hustling to look after your stuff. Everyone's laughing at his two buns. While the boys in their cool baggy
all self-deprecation aside, this is a flipping good album.
No, absolutely, dude.
Absolutely.
We should have won Osama for this one, dude.
Should we submit it?
Yeah. What's the cutoff?
We'd like you to review the 2008 Best Rock Album Summer Award winner and consider this album for that.
Let me ask you guys a
was.
question. Can you re-record an album and then submit it to the Psalmers? Can you do that?
Definitely, dude. We would be covering our own songs.
Okay, cool. Then that's what we have to do.
I'm
Next.
gonna find out who won the Summer in
Sounds good.
2008
Okay, yeah.
for Best Rock.
Okay.
Okay, rock. English rock. Okay.
No, they have to specify.
Could we, I know the winner is. Okay. The nominees are Niemand, This Is War, Seether, Finding Beauty in Negative
Oh,
Spaces,
there you go.
Springbok Nude Girls,
Oh,
Peace
some
Breaker,
competition.
Taxi Violence, Untie Yourself, Parlotones, A World Next Door to Yours, or Desmond and the Tutus Tuckshop.
I'm gonna
Wow,
my vote.
there's a couple
Ah,
big
geez,
albums
yeah,
there.
there's some big albums that year,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm
That's
guessing.
why we didn't get any love, guys. It's just
I
because
wouldn't
you know,
even
it's
submit it.
hustling.
I'm guessing Polytones won. I
No
don't-
way, see though, dude.
Yeah, I see the one.
But how?
What are you talking about? How?
Is it? What is it based on? People voting?
No, it's probably based on he's married to the chick from
Oh,
Evanescence.
yeah, no, fair enough. Who can
That
we
was the
marry?
peak of that sound, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But isn't that crazy? Like, that was the kind of rock sound. Imagine we had submitted
Yeah.
our album, dude. It would have been like, okay, guys, next album.
Like, what the frick is that shit? This isn't rock.
Yeah,
Cuck is
this
this?
is like joke music.
Ow.
Best comedy album, Desmond and the Tutus. I thought we entered Best Rock. Anyways.
Okay, well, let's continue listening to this song.
Praying aloud to like 3 different gods at the drawstring. Hold up his hammock. Now what the laughing boys didn't realize that he was a lot more streamlined. Not only did he win that little race, but he beat his personal best time. So saggy bottom speedo swimmer became a saggy bottom speedo winner. Saggy bottom speedo swimmer became a saggy bottom speedo
Yes.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Kind of low in the mix, though, dude.
Yeah, isn't it? We need to re-record it just for this.
Yeah.
Like this. Read-a-tail, read-a-tails.
speedo swimmer be a saggy bottom speedo winner. Saggy bottom speedo swimmer be a saggy bottom speedo winner. Saggy bottom
Damn, Nick.
swimmer be a
That
Just
bass.
soloing all of it.
saggy bottom speedo swimmer. And you could be a winner.
This is definitely like the best, or one of the best sort of stories in our music. You know what I mean? The story is so. It's such a great story that you told through the song.
Yeah, I mean, I actually wrote that song while walking around on the beach. On
It's a
December.
self-portrait.
Yeah.
You were probably wearing a speeder because that was your vibe.
Yeah,
back
like,
then.
I mean, I guess I was just trying to be, like, edgy that holiday, and I was wearing a speedo.
You didn't realize how intense it looked.
Yeah.
I mean,
It just sore.
For you, for
It
to
looked sore.
imagine like 20-year-old you walking around after not having
dude,
seen the
don't make me
sun.
think about
You haven't
this,
seen the
Craig.
sun for like 3 years. And you're like, I'm going to give these people everything. I'm going to put it up.
They deserve
no,
to see
I mean,
this.
Look, we all have made bad decisions in our
Yeah.
youth, guys.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
okay,
That's true,
okay.
But who's made the worst?
Okay, next. Anybody know?
Mm-mm.
No.
She hangs the pictures on the wall.
Oh.
I love this. Like, I mean, we just four guys that back ourselves.
That's the only reason this band became successful.
Let me tell you, the difference between people who are successful and people who aren't is not having a viable product to sell. It's being confident in
It's
the product that
confidence.
you have. And I've got confidence in this shit, but we're not successful. So
No. Imagine how much confidence very successful people have.
yeah.
They must just be oozing confidence.
Dude, they've just got a lot of confidence.
That's all they got.
Dude, so much of confidence, man.
We're gonna
Okay, this is another song that we wrote this in your bedroom, Doug.
bingo. Craig
And-
wasn't even playing the drums. He was literally hitting
yeah.
a box or hitting the amp or something.
Because we also wrote this like a few months after writing all our other songs.
Yeah. This was
And we had like not written a song because we were like, oh, cool, we've got songs.
yeah.
And we wrote this one and we were all like, afterwards, so
Why?
relieved, like, oh, thank goodness we could still write songs.
We're still good at writing songs. Our best work is still to come. Little did we know.
But anyway, you guys want to hear this banger?
Yeah, it's-
Yeah,
this, man.
let's do it.
Bling, bling, bling. Damn.
Cowboy. I mean, cowbell.
Yeehaw.
Why are you putting them up if you're just gonna take them down? Why are you?
You don't play the cowbell anymore, though. Why not, dude?
It's too much of a mission to carry
You gotta
around.
carry a cowbell. Look how much stuff he's got already.
I gotta
Too many
get a hard
inquiries
case.
at the airport.
Yeah, Timmy, what is this? Ah, you're a magician.
Putting them up if you're just gonna take them down.
It's a cowbell. What?
Oh, you keep cows. Respect.
Make yourself at home. I'll be out in a minute, but I'm not sure that I would.
One of the greatest guitar licks of all time. Ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
absolutely. It's so influential.
I give you E minor,
Is she going to
C minor, I think.
She's doing
C major.
One of those.
and I don't know how long I can wait. She hangs the pictures on the wall. She hangs the pictures on the wall.
I love that the cowbell every now and then
Yeah.
pops in.
Ba-dang, ba-dang.
Pictures on the wall.
What was so awesome about the way we recorded this was we'd do the track, track everything, and then at the end be like, well, let's do cowbell or like over the whole song. And then literally just do one take over and Adrian was just like, just put cowbell wherever you see fit. And I was
Didn't
like-
edit it.
I was like, okay, cool. Did the whole take
love
with
it.
just a cowbell and left every single cowbell hit in there as is.
Dude.
Is this to click? Did we play this song to click?
No, none of these are to click.
Wow. Because we couldn't. We couldn't do
Oh,
it.
no. No, we did actually, didn't we? I think we figured out how to do the click and then we actually ended up. Because Adrian phoned his buddy and then found out how to make like that high pitched click.
Gonna take them down.
Wow.
Why are you putting them up if you're just gonna take them down?
Oh, it's changing it up there, baby.
Two cowbells. Didn't we go specifically to a shop and buy these two cowbells for this recording?
You're just gonna
We used to spend cash.
Is she coming or going? Is she going to stay? She's doing something decorating, and I don't know how long I can wait. She hangs the pictures on the wall.
Where did you get the song idea from?
She hangs
I'd rather not say.
You're not at liberty to say, or you don't want to talk about it? You don't want to talk about the idea behind the song on a podcast.
He doesn't want to talk about it, Doug.
specifically specifically, all these people have put in all this effort for you to talk about this stuff, and you're not gonna.
Oh, please, let's just cut this part out, Vince. No, I mean,
Is it a metaphor? Give us something.
What a song.
no, it is a banger, dude.
That's killer.
Okay, the next song is a song called High Fives, which
Yeah.
is our most influenced song to date. In that we wrote it based on.
Under the influence.
No, we wrote this song thinking that it was going to sound exactly like Johnny Clegg.
No, it was like back in these days, dude. And if you listen to the stuff, excuse me, when you listen to all these songs, it's like it's so clear like what we were trying to go for.
Yeah.
It was like old girls. Okay, let's make like an old school rock and roll kind of song. Let's make a house song, and then it ends up being whatever it ends up being. But like this one was obviously like, okay, let's make something that's like super Quella.
Yeah,
And then
our,
like you
our
whip this one
reference,
out.
our reference for Quella was Johnny Clegg, though. It was a different time. It was difficult to find stuff, man. Stuff wasn't
This
just
is
on
You
the
couldn't
internet.
just go on the internet, yeah.
Anyways,
Here's another little one to throw at you guys. We weren't drinking
no,
when we wrote,
no.
when we even recorded this album.
Surprisingly,
No.
surprise,
I think
surprise, we weren't
it drove
drunk
us
through this whole
to
process. We're actually, the listeners will be interested to know we were all completely sober.
No drugs, no alcohol.
But what I'm saying, like, we never drank.
Never.
No.
It just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Sounds
And
like we
we
were
finally
off our
managed to
faces
get
like, the whole time.
That was always the thing. Is like after a gig, I was like, "Hey man, I want some of what you're smoking."
Yeah.
I was like, always like,
Good job.
drugs.
dude.
Well,
Oh, the
that's
doobies.
bad, dude.
Want
You
some
shouldn't.
doobies. Okay.
You shouldn't do drugs, man.
But yet we managed, even without drugs, we managed to whip out songs like this one.
Oh, nice little
Nice segue. Oh, banger. Do you think we love all these songs just because we've played them like a million times?
It's probably having a big effect on this whole thing.
Like imagine listening to like an audio commentary of a band talking about their stuff like this, and you've never heard of the band. Imagine how rough that would be.
I don't know. It might give you a good insight. Like if you wanted to get into a band and you were like, I need to know more about this band.
McDenny and the BBs. Definitely like the sort of screaming I was doing in this era. I don't think we've ever done like a song where I've done like a screamy kind of take that sounded as cool as this. Like the screaming that I've done on recent stuff, it kind of feels a bit like pop. Because I think like to pull off like a screamy vocal, it's got to have that lo-fi punky.
I think Adrian just used a broken ribbon mic or something. I'm not giving this guy my good mics. He's gonna scream into them.
Like to me, this and like Old Girls have always kind of lived in the same world. Like this kind of thrashy, bouncy vibe. It's solid, dudes. We should make more songs like this. Nice snare. for effect to put the snare drum like in the house next door.
Daryl, Daryl, Daryl. Your high fives are far too hard. Your high fives are far too hard. Your high fives are far too hard. Your high fives are just about to. Your high fives. Your high fives. Your high fives are far too hard. Your high fives. Your high fives. Your high fives are far too hard.
Yo.
It holds up, dude.
Yeah, that's probably the only song in the whole world written about someone who's got the name Daryl. Nobody would ever think, "Oh, you know what, I'm going to write a love song to Daryl.
Yeah.
My friend Daryl."
We've
I also
actually
like how
written
you
2
repeat it
songs
so
about
much.
Daryl.
So it starts becoming weird.
What?
Daryl, Daryl, Daryl.
yeah.
Daryl.
It's like kind of a percussive name, you know?
Daryl.
Is
It's
it
like-
about, it's about Darren.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but you
We
couldn't
used
get
to call
Darren.
Darren, nah.
It's not the same effect.
Daryl is
But also
way
we used
more-
to, as a joke, we used to call it Daryl.
Yeah, that was a big advertising value. You have another name for someone instead of
Yeah.
their actual name.
Almost there.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good song. I mean, it's very Afro, you know.
No, but that's good, dude.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's nice.
Is it pointedly so? Do you feel like it's shoehorned?
No, not at all. You know what I feel like? I feel like it's like we weren't good enough musicians when we made this album we're still not, but especially when we made this album to go out and do a genre of music convincingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just sort of had this inherent style that we did that was just because of our musical limitations that we were like, okay, well, now we're going to do a song that sounds like Johnny Clegg. And then we were like, this sound, in our
This
minds, we're
sounds
like, this sounds
exactly like Johnny
Th-
Clegg.
This is a Johnny Clegg song.
Yeah, we're like, apologies to Johnny Clegg for this next one, but we're totally biting your style. Okay, let's move on. We've got 2 more to go. Sadly. Anyway, yeah, Nick, this next one is the one you're talking about where we wrote this on our first trip to Cape Town and then wrote it and then played it that night.
Yes,
So
what a
when
song.
you listen to this song, you have to remember that we had the song on repeat in my car. The song "Stay on These Roads." I think that was a big influence.
Oh, you think so? Eh?
Definitely. Definitely not click that.
Nah. Oh, the lick, dude. Oh.
I haven't heard something similar in my life.
Did we record this live or did we record in parts?
No, this was a recording that we did. Like we did a guide track, and then we did parts.
How do you do parts when you don't record to click? You just try and follow it.
We follow the guide track.
It's crazy.
This is like one of these songs where I didn't really have like the lyrics, the story and the lyrics like isn't like super clear in my head. So like it's kind of a lot of just like waffle. So when we would do it live, I would often just like
Make
be
it happen.
embarrassed because I would sound like slur this stuff. So like nobody can actually hear what I'm saying. What do you think of the track listing? Like, has it been kind of a good arc in terms of, or has it
I
been all
don't
over the
think so.
place?
It's all over the place. There's no like sonic coherence through the thing at all.
But this is kind of cool where it's coming in towards the end, though.
Yeah,
The other
this
stuff
one
not
to end
quite.
is good. High fives definitely not.
Yeah, that's way
This
too late.
maybe this album should have started with high fives or
Old Girls.
old girls. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, this is so great song.
this is the first time I ever used the delay pedal, and I was literally hooked. Until people started calling me the Edge because of all his delay vibe. I mean, he's got a cool.
The Ed Sheeran.
Damn, and I wish I had that beanie. See, he's got a vibe. Like,
Is that where the orange hat comes
that's
from?
where the
dude?
orange hat came from. I was like,
You
if the
needed a
Edge,
vibe.
if the Edge wears a beanie, like Ali G, then I'll wear something. Tell you, that shit bit me in the end.
Dude, I remember like playing this stuff to Josh for the first time, and we were basically done.
Yeah,
It's
we
like-
recorded this album.
Yeah. And Josh is like, yeah, I've got a couple notes. Like, I just
Oh
like
my
to talk
gosh,
to you
I
guys
remember
about.
that.
Like, for example, that Head to the Side song. Like, you just sing Head to the Side, like, for a whole bunch at the end. Like, I think, like, it's a bit lazy. I was like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, we've already printed 2,000 CDs.
Also, like, what was his logic? If you were too lazy to write lyrics to a song that you're going to put on an album, surely you would be too lazy to go back into studio and re-record another song.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you convinced me. We're gonna now go spend an entire day redoing this verse.
That.
This kicks. Slaps, dude.
This is our banquet. Sorry, Craig.
Oh, yeah, maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably. Because of the talking
Yeah.
between them.
Oh, with the punk.
There we go. Oh,
Great end to this.
beautiful, pretty song. See, guys? Absolute ripper of a rock song, no guitar solo.
Yeah. You don't
That,
need
that
that.
one should have
either.
ended the album, eh?
It should have,
It
but
should've.
but the song that ends it is a stanker, dude.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's beautiful.
What have we got there?
Any guesses? What's missing?
I know what it is. Because I saw it.
Yeah, well, then you're out of the game, Craig.
Yeah, but I would have known.
Cheaters never prevail,
Well,
according to the show Cheaters. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
this was written in the phase of the two electric guitars, because
Yes.
remember this riff was initially you playing half and
And Nick playing the
half.
other half. And then he would kick over into bass mode on the G8.
Sorry, but he's not here.
Good lyrics.
I'm sorry,
Thanks,
but
Doug.
he's not
Yeah, and
here.
I was very proud of the sort of
Perhaps
angstiness of
come
these.
back in the daytime.
What's this one about?
Perhaps come back in the daytime.
I guess it's not like a story. It's sort of like a love, like a love lost kind of story.
I said, I think I should just head home. She said, I think you should just head home. You're too late and I'm not old enough. You're too late and I'm not old enough. You're too late and
We should send this to 5FM like today, guys.
Should we drive there after this?
Yeah, sure you go.
5FM would never play this. Not because it's not a good song, but no radio would play this because they wouldn't be able to EQ it enough to get it to sound like
Yeah.
this. Like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I think the only course of action for us is to just re-record this whole
Yeah,
album.
we can finally, the world can finally praise us like they
Yes,
should.
like
for
they
this
should
album.
have. That's why I started drinking, was because of the lack of success of this album.
quick. There's nothing that you can
Dude, but talking about 5FM reminds me of that
say.
thing where Josh phones me to tell me that Peter was rejected from 5FM. Do you guys know this?
I
What I'm
know
about
this
it?
flipping story.
I don't know the story.
Oh, Nick, you don't know this.
Yes, you're about to die in your seat right now, dude.
Dude, this is so rough. Oh, this is rough. My palms are sweating just like even thinking about it. Okay. Anyway, so we finished the album. We all decided, no, Peter's got to be our single. And even though like leading up to it, we were always like, oh, we don't need radio, blah blah. By the time we had this album, we're like, cool, we need to go on radio. Anyway, so we decide. So Josh takes Peter to 5FM. It gets rejected. And I was kind of broken up about it. And like, this was back in the day of like old phones. You remember like old Nokias and stuff? And we were busy texting. No, he phones me, and then like I was sitting at work or something. I was all bleak about it. So I typed this mail back, this SMS, like super, like really just like bummed out. Here's the song. We're so proud of it, but it's not gonna get on radio. Like, what's all this effort been for? And anyways, I'm typing out this SMS, and I say to him like. I can say the name of the band. I was slagging off.
Definitely.
Because like there was this other band that hadn't like been around as long as us or whatever, and they had been on radio. Do you remember Gonzo Republic?
Yes.
Anyway, and there was like a couple other bands that had kind of just come out, and they were all on radio, and yet like we'd been around for like 3 years, and like why couldn't we be on the radio? You know. Anyway, so I type out this SMS, and I'm like, Josh, this is bullshit. Like, it's so unfair. All these other bands, for example, Gonzo Republic, they're just like imitating our style and they all get on radio. Like, how come we can't get on radio? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it was along those lines. But importantly for the story, I name check Gonzo Republic and I slag them off about being like an imitation of us. And then, here's what I do.
No, you didn't.
This is what I do.
This is what he did.
I press send.
You can't.
I press send on the text. Sorry, I need to get really close to this.
Please don't.
I press send on the text.
Oh, you didn't do it.
I go, because you used to always have to like go through your address book and choose the person. So I go down.
You still had a 3310, respect.
Yeah. Scroll down to Josh. Click on Josh. Press send. As it sends, I realize I've sent it to the wrong Josh. I haven't sent it to our manager Josh. I've sent it to another
absolute dog shit.
I sent it to another guy whose name was Josh, who happens to be the lead guitarist of the band Gonzo Republic.
You fucking bitch.
Dude, like as soon as it sends, and then I used to give you that like little notification delivered to Josh, and it was his name was probably even saved like Josh Gonzo.
Oh, no.
But in my defense, like Josh, it was like Josh Giorgio and Josh Gonzo, like
Right next to each other.
right. I'm in like a highly emotional state, right? Anyway, so I send it to him. He gets it. Immediately, I'm like, oh no, I've made a huge mistake. I phone him and I explain the whole situation. And he's like, oh no, it's cool, dude. I thought you were just joking around.
You're just joshing around, man.
I'm like, funny joke, guys. Anyway, I saw this guy. Oh, we saw him like 2 months ago down the road. And he's like, yeah, man, remember that time you sent me that text, like, slagging off my band? I'm like, and he's like, classic. And he's like, yeah, man, I tell everybody that story. It's so hilarious.
He's going around. He's slacking you off, dude. He spent the last, 10 years bringing that story up every time your song's on the radio.
You do what? No, dude, shut the fuck up, dude. Stop telling people.
Oh, man. Anyway, so...
now you get to think about that.
No, I think literally I think about it all the time.
Every day when you wake up in the morning, first thing you think about it, you're like,
just like this voice in my head, like, remember that time you sent that text message to the wrong Josh? Do you remember that, Shane? Anyway, let's go back to this absolute slapper.
I was sorry I went all that way to tell her I'm sorry she went all that way. You're too late to now. Not old enough. You're too late to now.
Do we have backing vocals on this?
I don't think so.
We should.
In the next version we will.
Okay, cool.
In the remake we will.
This is my Durban song.
Oh, Durban. Playing this song in Durban is definitely the hardest I've ever hit a guitar with my hand.
Then she bleeded again. I begged and I bleeded again. She begged
Oh, how's it vocal
She
effect?
asked again and I begged and I pleaded again. I'm shouting at the top of my lungs. You're shouting at the top of your lungs. And I'm shouting at the top of my lungs, telling her to stop shouting at the top of her lungs. You're too late and
I was very proud of that whole top of your lungs.
No, no,
Because
this
those
should
were-
be.
yeah.
as you should
Very
be.
clever.
Thanks, guys.
I'm not old enough. You're too late.
Nick, can I just say that recently I listened to the song with the express purpose of transcribing the bass line to a digital track. And it's some of the best bass guitar work I've ever heard.
No, it kills it, dude. What a beaut. That is the
Some,
perfect ending for this. Dude.
Some award-winning album.
Should
Should we listen to the whole thing again?
Yeah. Yeah, should we go through our other two albums, dude?
Yeah, look, that definitely took me to a good place. Took
It's
me
good
back,
stuff,
man.
dude. It's
Yeah,
flipping good
it's flipping
stuff.
solid. I mean, I'm glad I don't listen to it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Because then
No, no, I'm not going to
to
listen to this again, dude.
I'll never hear this again.
The next time I want to hear this is when I'm trying to figure out the songs to teach them when I'm a music teacher in 5 years.
I'm still like, I want to learn this. Teach
This
me.
is good. This is good guitaring, okay?
But what's so crazy is, like, to me, this is still kind of like, this is the other day we made up these songs, dude. And then, like,
Yeah.
even though it will be playing a gig these days, and then we'll play like all our latest stuff, and they'll, like, then we'll play like Peter. To me, it's still like one of our biggest songs. And then you see like two kids in the front row, like looking at each other, like, "Do you know this one?" And they're like shrugging their shoulders, like, "Nah, I don't know what this is."
Yeah.
Never heard this album. Anyways, they're gonna learn.
Yeah, I mean, so any final words on Tuckshop?
An experience.
What a journey, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that album sort of punctuated 3 years of us playing all these songs live and like developing this live following. You know, something that was sort of born out of just shows that we played live and a few demos that people picked up along the way. But I don't know, yeah, when we finally released this, it was like everyone that's been following us to all of our like shows that were like 300, 400 capacity shows, we were like at this point thinking like, yeah, this is what we got.
Yeah.
These are the songs and this is how we recorded them, and now you can listen to them forever.
I
think
like that
what's-
we didn't overthink it
Yeah.
so much.
What is so interesting is like in I mean, I use this word very loosely. I also use it loosely. But in the artist, which is what we are, just 4 bro artists,
All bros.
4 bros who are artists, journey that we took on this, we had like insane amounts of confidence in our abilities.
Yeah.
And
what was born was like the greatest album of all time.
No, but it's more than that. Like, we didn't really like. We just wanted to make the thing that we wanted to make.
Exactly.
How we wanted to make it, and like, I think we kind of did that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you like listen to it and you're like, yeah, sure, it could have been more polished. This could have been better. This could have been better. But like, at the end of the day, it's like, you're not going to hear an album that sounds like this, like these days.
No, you're not.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I
Definitely
mean?
not.
Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, you're
Is it-
not going to hear it.
You're
You know?
right.
Yeah.
So,
But I also think that pretty much sums up how we were as a band. We hadn't made any money, you know. All of us were just like scrounging and
Yeah.
hustling, and like that's exactly how we recorded that. Because like lending shit from people and just making it happen, as opposed to
Yeah, it was so weird, like the money thing. Like the first year, it was just like it didn't even come into that. Like we're
Yeah.
supposed to be making cash off of our gigs, and then I just always remember at one point like having a band meeting and Nick going like, "I guys, I think it's time. Like we
started
getting
we
money.
started getting paid. Yeah.
We all
I've been
like,
speaking
I
to
mean-
some of my bros in bands like Cutting Jade and stuff, and they're getting paid. No,
Oh
yeah.
man, yeah. Okay, well, guys, it's been a good trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Nick, thanks for dialing in via Skype.
This is a flippin' fancy phone call, eh?
Listen,
Oh yeah, man. Big vibe. And
we'll see. Listen, what do you say when you're talking to people who are listening to you? We'll be coming into your ears.
I think that's something you don't
Tutus.
say.
This is Desmond and Tutus, and we will be coming into your ears on the next episode of Discussing Our Own Music.
yeah, I guess we'll do this again in like 4 years' time when we do the next album.
Yeah,
So what is can I just ask what is the gap? Is it 4 years between Tuckshop and music?
It must have been
I'm not talking
When
about
was this?
EPs. I'm talking about like actual
2011, I
albums.
think. 2011, I think.
2011, from 2008 to okay, so we got 3 years before we need to come and discuss.
Also, like
it.
guys, if we don't want to do a commentary for music, like we don't have.
We
to.
don't have
No,
to.
I think we just skip that one.
Sure, yeah.
Let's just skip it, yeah.
And signing off, everybody. Thank you for listening. This is
We're surprised.
Shane and
Craig.
Doug.
and on Skype.
Nicky.
Thanks for hanging out with us on this journey down memory lane. And thank you for your support. And you know what? If you see us in the streets, or come say hi to your boys.
Yeah, we really like that. It's fun.
Yeah. Bye.